All right, Patrick Mahomes, what a contract. 10 years, $503 million through 2031. So that would make his contract 12 years because he still has 2 years left on his rookie contract. Highest paid player ever in the NFL or any other sport in history. Um, well, it's crazy. So welcome into Sports Talk for you. That, of course, is going to be our topic today. I got my co-host Adam Parker, and we are just
Hello.
excited to get to talk about Patrick Mahomes, who is probably going to be the highest paid player ever unless you find some other odd talent out there. And don't get me started on Ravens fans saying Lamar Jackson is better.
Yeah, no, I would still put Mahomes ahead of Lamar Jackson, and that's not because of winning the Super Bowl either and beating them twice in a row. Granted, it was at Chief Stadium, but the guy can not only run when he wants to, he picks and chooses, unlike Lamar Jackson, but unlike Mahomes, Lamar Jackson cannot throw the ball the
No,
way that Mahomes can, both on the run, out of the oh god, I
out
can't
of the
even talk
pocket,
right now. Even out of the pocket, so on and so forth.
or throw the
But
ball 50 yards off your back foot.
exactly, or randomly doing a no look pass.
I
So
think Lamar
anyway,
tried that once, but it didn't work.
that's right. And you know what? It's crazy to me because honestly, I knew he was due for a big contract because
Not this
he's
big.
not this big,
We didn't expect
but
that.
big. But here's the deal. I honestly thought that baseball was the only sport who would give 200 plus million for 10 years. Uh, but I guess now the NFL's like, hey, watch us do it and then some. So it'll be
Well, I
interesting.
mean, we all expected maybe a 4 year, 200 million, which evenly kind of evens out to that 10-year 500. But I've just a 10-year contract. That's just, I mean, the last 10-year contract I've heard of is Albert Pujols with the Angels, and we all know how that's working out for them. But this one, at least they're giving it to a young guy instead of Pujols, who was already 33 at the time.
Yeah, that's right. And also, don't forget the A-Rod contract.
Yes. Yeah.
Because I'll tell you this, I think it was year 7 of his contract. I couldn't wait for it to be up because he was always injured and so on and so forth. But no, I was in shock when I read it all. But it's kudos to Kansas City though, because you realize what he's done and what he can do because his ceiling is so high that honestly, I think he could be, and he's well on his way to being the best quarterback the NFL has ever seen.
Well, I gotta say is with that 10-year contract, the AFC West is not going to be drafting defensive players. They're going to be drafting offensive players to keep up with the Chiefs.
Well, exactly. I mean, you look
So
at what the Broncos did. I mean, forget what the Raiders did in getting Ruggs and stuff, but now you got Judy, Hamler, as
yeah,
well as Sutton, and
well,
then you got Fant and a few others.
Chargers got a rookie receiver too that might turn out to be good.
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure. But I'm excited for 60 to 70 final scores.
well,
So
we'll
they're in
be
the
expecting the
AFC.
Rams and Chiefs Monday night scores.
The Rams and Chiefs. Well, I mean, I don't know because I don't think the Rams D is as strong as it was 2 years ago. Or
Yeah,
did they play last year? Was it last year or
it was
2 years
2 years
ago?
ago. It was two
Two
years.
years ago. Um, Honestly, I think it'd be another high scoring game. I honestly don't. You can only hope to contain the Chiefs' offense, but but somewhere during that game, it's going to explode no matter what. So as long as you can contain the quote unquote explosion,
And
you
I believe
know,
with Trulock at quarterback with the Broncos, we could see a lot of high scoring games with those two teams.
oh, I believe it. I believe it, especially with the weapons that they got. Because I swear to you, John Gruden and John Elway had a meeting before the draft and flat out said, forget defense. Let's just all go for offense. So,
Yeah,
which
because
will be exciting.
Drew Lock proved himself last year. He even did good with bad receivers. I think the only good guy he had was Sutton because Emmanuel
Yeah,
Sanders was gone at the end of the year.
Correct. And all the other guys were kind of inconsistent in my book, but
So we'll see a lot
you
of that.
know,
Now let's get to the fun part of this contract.
all right.
Go through the 10-year, the 1 year, the 1 minute, the 1 hour. So 10 years, of course, 503 million. 1 year, 50.3 million. 1 day, Patrick Mahomes is making $137,000, and us paras are sitting here not even making $95, $100 a year. 1 hour, $5,000 an hour. $96 a minute, and $1.60 per second. That is just outrageously insane. I mean,
Yeah, that's crazy. Unless you're a billionaire, you can't really relate, you know?
now somebody did
But
say this is the greatest contract in sports history, but let's go back to Bobby Bonilla. Wouldn't that be the greatest one in history? Because that guy is getting paid not even playing every year. He's going to
that
be,
is true.
I think he's
That
going to
is
be,
true.
what, maybe 60 something when his contract expires in 2035, 70 something?
Yeah, something around there. But
Sit
yeah,
on
no,
your
it's
ass
just
and sit on your ass and get paid $1.5 million a year. That's just, yeah.
exactly. I mean, the only people who can semi relate to this are billionaires, and maybe if you're a good stockbroker, you know.
Yeah.
But it's
But
just crazy. But yeah,
all I
you're
gotta
right
say
about the para
is,
thing, man.
yeah. And the fact that an analyst asked Andy Reid if he would stick around through 2031 with Mahomes' contract, and Andy Reid said, "Bring her on." So I think here's my thing: if Chiefs can win 5 Super Bowls or 4 Super Bowls in the next 6 years, I think Reid will retire. But
Yeah,
I,
I could see that.
I just, I mean, Belichick's what, in his 70s, so Andy Reid would be 73 at
Mhm.
the 2031 season. So yeah, you never know; he could be there.
Yeah, but you know
How's his
something
health? I mean, he's already big red, and who knows? He could get bigger by the time that season comes. So
yeah, and you know what? Winning is always fun. I
exactly.
mean, and he may just want to keep going
Well,
until
the
it
thing
all
is,
plays out.
the more that he wins, the more cheeseburgers and beers that he's going to drink. So that's just going to ruin his health even more.
Yeah, and also too, if he hypothetically were to retire, okay, um, I believe that, of course, Mahomes, they're going to please Mahomes, and he's going to have a say in who they'll bring in next. So, who's in line for it but Kingsbury, because he played with them at Texas Tech, or you could even bring in Nagy from the Bears and get him out
Yeah.
of that fiasco of a situation.
Well, and I mean, I am really surprised nobody's hired Eric Bieniemy, because
Mhm.
my thing is, I think he'll get a head coaching job, but when Andy Reid leaves, I look for the Chiefs to go right after him because he's had that relationship with Patrick Mahomes now the first 3 years.
And you know what? I totally forgot about Eric. So, yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Honestly, all three of those guys to me make sense. But, we got a few years at least until
See,
that happens.
I am not impressed with Matt Nagy's head coaching style. I mean,
Yeah, but you know what? Is it more the style or more the players he
that's
has
true. I mean, he
around
doesn't
him?
have a quarterback who, let's get real here, got drafted ahead of Mahomes, and the Bears are saving 400 million, but then again, they're not winning playoff games.
Exactly. And I find that to be hilarious that he was drafted above him. Not to mention Dak Prescott last year losing to him. Oh,
I'm just like,
sorry.
what the hell did they see in that guy? I mean, Jesus, the guy, that's probably one of the biggest busts in history. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it could go that route. I don't know. Maybe bringing in Nick Foles will help, kind of like Romo helped out Dak his first year. And then
Yeah.
just to go on a smidge of a tangent, once Romo left, I mean, you saw the double to triple INTs. Oh, but he's got a number one QBR. Well, when you're playing against 500 or worse teams, 7 out of the 16 games, of course you're gonna pat your stats and they're gonna look good. But anyway, I think, maybe since Foles was kind of under Nagy in the system that he wants to try to run, maybe he'd be a good mentor for him as well as taking his spot. Because maybe Trubisky, all he needs is to be a backup for a few games or whatnot to really see the field. So maybe it could help him. I honestly am hoping for that, but we'll see. But being from Arizona, go Nick Foles. So
Well, all I know is that first preseason game against Tennessee in 2017. I'm sure when the Bears coaches saw that throw by Mahomes, I think it was Sammy Watkins. I can't remember. But when they saw that throw, they're probably like, damn, why did we let this guy go? Because Trubisky was awful in that preseason.
yeah, and too. I mean, I believe gunslingers give you the best opportunity to win, not necessarily game managers.
Yes.
Sure, they
Alex
might
Smith,
be.
Alex Smith, for
Yeah,
example.
exactly. But, there's Aaron Rodgers who's won a Super Bowl. Now you got Patrick Mahomes. Even Tom Brady is considered somewhat of a gunslinger, And I know Peyton Manning was. And even though his, last Super Bowl with the Broncos, he was well on his way out,
I believe if Matt Stafford didn't get hurt last year, he could have took that team far.
Oh, I believe it too.
He was
'Cause
having a breakout season, man.
yeah, and he finally had the weapons to go with some run game, but that was statistically his best year, if I'm not mistaken, as a Detroit Lion.
Yeah.
So, unfortunate for the Lions, he got injured, and then they went tumbling down.
And then Bluff went bluff. Let's just say that. So.
Yeah.
All right. So that was Chiefs fans are excited. Now the real question would be, do they have the cap space for Chris Jones? Because he wants $20 million a year, and it sounds like maybe the Chiefs might be coming out with good news about that. But you give Chris Jones a big contract, I mean, you're going to have to get rid of some of those offensive weapons.
Right.
Keep Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill and Mecole Hardman.
Right. But also, too, here's the deal. If they can somehow somewhat please him, give him an offer, to make him stay. I mean, what if it was like 18 million? But I believe that once this new TV deal comes in for the NFL and it raises the salary cap, if they can somehow, hold on to him for the next 1 to 2 years, then maybe I could see them finagling the cash to pay him. He's a great defensive lineman, that's for sure. And I hope they can hang on to him. But if not, I mean, I wouldn't mind him in a Broncos or Cowboys uniform. So, hey.
Well, who knows? Jerry Jones might. I mean, he's got the cap space, I'm sure.
Yeah.
He's spend it on a quarterback, so.
Correct. And real quick, speaking of Jerry Jones and them, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the clowning situation, but I find it kind of funny that a guy of his caliber kind of went silent for like the past month, but just recently it turned out that he's kind of either waiting to be a Cowboy or a Saint. And those are two teams, definitely the Cowboys. I don't know, that would really take a hit against the salary cap, and I don't really know if there's any finagling really in the Dallas Cowboys salary cap right now. But
that and the Saints got Kamara, the Saints got Breeze, the Saints got Michael Thomas they got to pay. Jared Cook's on his last year of his contract, I believe.
That's right. And not to mention some of the good defensive players that they've already got,
Talented cornerback. Everybody knows that guy.
Right.
So,
but I don't know. It'll be interesting because I think, too, he might have to come to a reality of if I want to be on a team that wins, I might have to give a little bit for that to happen. But we'll see what happens with some of these guys.
So let's get to the real question. And fans, you can comment down below if you want to. So get people's perspective. What's the over-under on Super Bowls for Patrick Mahomes? Let's go 5. Over or under that in 10 years?
Golly. You know what? I honestly see in him win 4. I honestly see that. 5 is much, but is it doable? Is it doable? Yes. Could they also win 6 or 7? That's also doable. If it's like our other person that we have on here, Chase. I mean, I remember him texting, "Hey, we could have 12 Super Bowls."
Yeah, I don't see 12 Super Bowls. I say maybe I'm going to go right at 5. So I'm going to take the over-under, go right at 5.
Go right at 5. You know what? I'll go 6. And this is coming from a Broncos fan and a Cowboys fan. So, as long as in those 10, 12 years, as long as the Broncos get one and my Cowboys get one, Chiefs can have 10 for all I care.
My thing is Deshaun Watson is going to win a Super Bowl. He will win a Super Bowl or 2. He needs the weapons, which, of course, we know Bill O'Brien got rid of his biggest weapon. God help his soul. But it brings in Brandon Cooks, who's below average. I say right at average, above average maybe. But, here's my thing. Jackson, Watson, Mahomes are going to win a combined 8 or 9 Super Bowls in this next decade.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just saying it right now. Because if Chiefs don't win, it's going to be the Ravens. If Ravens don't win, it's going to be the Chiefs or Texans.
Yeah.
That AFC is just dominant. Because right now, NFC, you got Rodgers, who's on, I would say maybe the decline. He's what, 32, 33?
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, he definitely does not have any weapons outside of Adams and who's their running back?
Because Valdez Scantling, he's turned out to be a bust.
Right. And they have nobody in Green Bay. Just keeps drafting the most random of people that you don't.
The bagel could turn out to be a good receiver. Let's wait on the bagel and see what he does. You never know. He could turn out to be that guy from the Canadian League that goes off in the NFL.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But it's interesting because the NFC, to me, their defense is good, but defenses can't hold up for 4 quarters. And like I said, it's about containing the offense. And right now I look at the AFC and they have a lot of teams that not only have the offensive power, but they also have defensive capability. I mean, none better than the Ravens, and with those weapons. And
that's
even
one thing about Chicago. If Chicago finds an offense, they can win a Super Bowl because that defense is stout. Khalil Mack, Khalil Mack.
And they're always in the top 10, if not 5 every year, which is pretty consistent. But
I'm sure they'd probably be happy to have Jay Cutler back on that team.
I wouldn't go that far just yet. That's borderline saying, well, this team wouldn't mind having like Ryan Leaf on there.
Okay, what about Rex Grossman? We go that
Rex
far?
Grossman, I could see, and that's still pretty wild. But here's another. Can I ask you a random question?
Oh God.
And I want to bring up Josh Rosen. Okay, but you do not feel like he's being groomed to be the next Fitzpatrick, just the guy who just keeps going to teams that nobody
comes out of nowhere. He'll be that guy to beat the Patriots when the fans want him to.
That's true. But it was just interesting. I was listening to a show and his name just popped up randomly. But then I was like, man, you talk about a guy who's going to be on the trading block every year. And
let's not forget about Teddy Bridgewater.
Fitzpatrick. Huh?
Let's not forget about Teddy Bridgewater. How many teams has he been with now? 3
That's true, but at least Bridgewater could say he started, and was successful, and not only that as a backup, but that injury really did do him in. But I'm glad he was successful in New Orleans, and we'll see how he does at Carolina.
Yeah. All right. Just got breaking news. Ivy League rules out playing any sports this fall. Is that the start to college football being postponed or canceled?
To me, not really. Not yet, anyway. I really hope that there is college football. I understand the health comes first.
Does Ivy League draw fans anyways in football? That's the real question.
Well, I don't really see their game, so I know I'm not a fan, And anyway, it's not to say that they have bad football or anything, but really, with these Power 5 conferences, it's a big draw. And if you're going to cancel a season, that's a lot of money going bye-bye.
Well, because I do believe Stanford came out today and took away 11 varsity sports.
Oh, really?
11 out of
Well,
the 6 varsity sports they had to get rid of due to financial issues.
hmm. Well, that's interesting. I didn't hear that one, but you know
Yes.
what? It's just, I don't know. Maybe in a month we'll know more, but I'm keeping the faith, and I understand that, the coronavirus seems to be spreading because you just hear about it every day, who's getting it, who's not. But the good thing is they're not really dying from it, at least from what I'm witnessing. So at least that there's medication out there so people can fight this. So we'll see.
Well,
I mean, health always comes first. So,
then I
but I'm
saw a
keeping the
tweet.
faith.
I got a tweet from Travis Steffen, who's a Brawl Network reporter, saying that I guess the NFL is discussing if players want to opt out of the season after the league taking 35% of their pay. So is this going to screw up everything?
I don't know. I mean, it's more just kind of a wait and see. What do you think?
I, I don't see the NFL players opting out.
Yeah, I don't either.
I mean, the
But
NFL, I just don't see them taking pay cuts either. I don't see the
yeah,
NFL doing that like the MLB did because I mean, Roger Goodell gets a lot of crap, but I don't see him going the Rob Manfred way and making guys take pay cuts, especially 35%. I mean, hell,
yeah,
it's not like we're halfway through the season and haven't played anything.
right.
The reason
And
Manfred did it was because they were halfway through the season. But why would you do pay cuts on NFL players when you're not even preseason yet?
right. And like I said, I mean, I think there'd be another month from now to really see the full picture, both for college sports and the NFL. But I really see the NFL playing. I don't think that there'll be any pay cuts, like MLB did. And I'm sure Goodell is not going to jump the gun like Manfred did in saying that there's baseball, then there's not
It's not.
baseball,
Yeah.
So
Well, and then I heard
anyway,
that. Well, it's like baseball because they just got done testing 3,000 MLB guys, and I think only forgot what it said, something to do with 300, 500 came back positive. So that's only maybe 1%, 1.5%. So that's
yeah,
my
something
thing.
like
I
that.
mean, there's so many players, and thing is, they're getting treated right away, and it goes away. And a lot of them are asymptomatic; they don't even have symptoms.
Yeah.
So,
It, yeah, it's just a crazy thing, but I mean, it's again just a wait and see. I don't know what the future holds right now since everything
well,
seems to
because
be up in
Arrowhead
the
came
air.
out
But
today too, and Arrowhead said that they're going to have reduced capacity, which means apparently they're going to allow fans, which is what
well,
people want. So, if you want fans, keep wearing your mask and do what you're told.
right, and I think that's what's going to happen. And we'll see about college football, though. I know our other uh, co-host, on our show, Armand, he's been saying that college football might be moved to the spring. And if that happens, that would be definitely interesting. I'm just thinking, you know what? I'm just thankful that they don't treat the flu like a pandemic or
Exactly.
colds. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm very thankful for that, even though those can be deadly as well, which sucks. But
But here's my thing:
you
if
know,
you were told that you had to wear a mask to go to a game, would you go to a game?
yeah, I'd wear the mask
I
to
mean,
go to a
technically,
game.
in football, it's going to be 30 degrees anyway, so keep your face warm.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
mean, now
And
basketball inside an arena, who knows? It might be hot in there.
yeah, but you'll still be able to hear the Coke Arena fans. Wichita
Exactly.
State.
Like Rich said on our show the other day, it doesn't matter mask or no mask. That's going to be a loud arena.
Exactly. So it'll be interesting. Like I said, it'll be interesting to see what pans out, and we really won't get a full picture until I believe next month. But I'm happy that the NFL said no or cut it in half to preseason games.
Yeah.
Really excited about that because I'll never forget like about when was it? 11 years ago, I actually watched the Bengals and the Cowboys play in the Hall of Fame preseason game, and it was one of the most boring games I've ever
Yes.
watched in my life. And I swore to myself I will never watch another preseason game again, and I still haven't. So,
Yeah.
and to
I'm just glad they cut it down
people.
to 2 games.
Right. But here's the deal, too. I mean, people were also debating, well, that's not good for the NFL. You got to see these guys, whatnot. But you know what? College football just goes into a season. There are no preseason games. So honestly,
Well,
I
technically, your Power Five, I would call that preseason. The teams they play their first 2 or 3 games, but yes.
that's true. But you know what? It still counts because there is that
Let,
upset,
let's
like
not count
Troy beating
Appalachian State.
Michigan.
Appalachian State always has
Exactly.
that big upset every year. We all know how
Right.
Appalachian State runs.
Yep.
So,
So, I mean, there's always that surprise.
but
But
yes. So, if you guys are watching this and you want to comment underneath and give your opinion, go ahead. We would love the feedback and what you guys all think. That's going to wrap it up for now. So that was a great talk about Mahomes, and let's just pray that college football comes back, or at least the NFL and MLB. I think if MLB comes back, we'll have other sports. So that's going to do it
yeah, I
for
believe it.
us. Yep. That's going to do it for me and Adam. We will be probably next week again as our next show, and hopefully Armand can join us, and we'll talk MLB baseball. As next week will be a week away from opening day, and we'll talk schedule and who we think will win the 60-game regular season. So that's going to do it. Please subscribe. See you guys later.